question. How many of you here are wearing clothes that are your size? Raise your hands. Everyone. Now I want you to imagine a world where there was only one size of clothing. Let's call it XXL. And to make matters worse, there would only be 3 clothing stores in all of Los Angeles, with a flat rate pricing of $100 per shirt and $150 for pants. Ridiculous, right?
Yes.
Yes. And what if I told you there is a $30 billion industry that continues to use this absurd business model? The self-storage industry. So the way self-storage works is you sign up to get a key to a facility that you can access, you put your stuff in, and the problem with this is that it's a preset sized room. So most of the time there's wasted space. And it's crazy to think that 9% of households in the United States travel so many miles to waste money at these facilities. So I was curious. I was astonished by the huge market size. So I did a survey. And I found that 31 out of 38 people, ages 17 to 30, these are college students, young adults, they said they would store their goods in someone else's house if it was at a lower price. Let's call them renters. I also found that 8 out of 21 people, ages 30 to 60, they're homeowners and teachers, they said they would store other people's stuff in their own house if they were paid for it. So now I had all this data in my head, and it popped to me one Friday night in the shower. What if I created a marketplace that renters could lease space from these hosts by the square foot? These hosts will get monthly payments with no risk, less risk than a tenant, no worries. They are rated so they are trustworthy by the hosts, and the host will have more trust and more choice at a better price than the storage facilities. The name for this is Trustore, a marketplace where you can trust hosts to store your goods at a true price. So let's go over how this works. So here's the app. Up here, you have the location, so 90024, that's actually where we are right now. You have the date of check-in, you have the dimensions that you need to reserve. And then the app will pull up applicable listings. So here we're looking at the middle one, you have the pictures right here. You can have the heart here to save your favorite one. So next, you can click on filters. You can do your price maximum, room type, you have garage, regular room, attic, basement, minimum host rating, and then amenities such as alarm protection, vehicle friendly, and air conditioning. So what's amazing about this is that through all these filters, we get you the perfect room for your storage, something that no other company in the world can do. Now, once you found that perfect room, it seems to be this $24 one right here. You can see the picture. You have price per square foot. This one is alarm protected, vehicle friendly, air conditioning. You get information about the host. You can message the host, and here, you know exactly how much you are insured by. $3,000 Trustore insurance for whatever you book there. Now, with this sleek design of an app, how many of you would book Melissa's garage? Everyone. All right. Cool. So when I explain this app to people, I get 2 questions always. The first is, what if the host's house blows up? And my answer is, like I showed you in the previous slide, we have insurance right here. There's no need to worry. Next, what if someone stores a bomb or someone stores drugs in the house? What do we do? Well, before you book the listing, we tell you all these rules that you must follow. And if you break these rules, you'll be heavily penalized. So the hosts are safe. No need to worry. There are 4 things that Trustore does that none of its competition can do. When you're navigating through the app, you pick the exact dimensions of space that you want. And because of this, you'll get the perfect price based on the space. Therefore, you'll never get ripped off and you'll never be charged for unused space. Also, there are going to be tens or hundreds of hosts around you. And each one of these hosts have their individual rating on how good they are at storing storage. So you have a variety of choice, and that yields good trust. So let's look at this on a graph. There are companies that can do one of these things okay, but none of them can give you the perfect aroma of a fitted storage room and a lot of variety of storage spaces. There's a huge gap there, and Trustore fills the gap. So, I'd like to go over how we can eliminate phonies from trying to replicate Trustore. The way we do this is through our strike first, strike fast business model. We will be doing heavy promotions, incentives for referrals, rewarding for using our service, and heavy advertising. If you are using Trustore for 6 months, every month the service will become cheaper. We've covered the whole nation. Now let's go over some of the main points in our business model. We have no inventory. We have no facilities. We own no warehouses. This dramatically lowers our monthly expenses. We make money off of our platform. Every time a transaction goes through, we take a percentage. And to be exact, we take 5%. Another 5% goes to the safe store fee. This is for Trustore insurance, trust insurance. You also have host inspections, and you have background checks. It just contributes to the overall safety of the whole app. The last 90% goes right into the bank accounts of the hosts. Next, I'd like to speak about scalability. In this, you can put it quite simply. The more hosts you have, the more options you have for renters. And the more renters you have, the more demand there are for the hosts. This yields exponential growth. Our millionth user will be so much easier to obtain than our first. Lastly, and very importantly, I'd like to go over cash flow. Cash flow is what every genius investor yearns to have. Every month, hosts and Trustore itself will have a check coming in the bank. This helps pay monthly expenses, making life so much easier. There are also two financial considerations that every host should have. The first is the minimized risk of doing storage instead of having a tenant. A tenant can break your couch. A tenant can stink up the room. A tenant can steal your stuff. Storage can't break a couch, and storage can't make loud noises at 3 a.m. at night. Also, I would like to speak of this concept I call free money. Most of you have attics, most of you have basements, and most of those attics and basements are empty. So what if you spent 20 or 30 minutes cleaning it up, calling an inspector from Trustore to check it out, and you'll start making money. It's free money from wasted space. So we have a cool business model. But what evidence is there to show that we'll really have good growth? Let's take a look at Airbnb. You can see this exponential growth. In over 8 years, they've captured 1% of the hotel industry, which is $180 billion revenue in 2016. I believe that Trustore will have the same effect on the storage industry, a $30 billion industry. And if we take these numbers times 1/6, here is the chart that we should expect for the growth of Trustore, reaching $280 million revenue in year 8. It's fantastic. Now let's look at a timeline. Phase 1, we will target UCLA and USC. We have target users of 10,000 and target revenue of 50,000. We have already made progress in our phase 1. We have designs finished, like I showed you, plus we have 5 accredited investors who have high interest. Phase 2, 2019, we will go into the Los Angeles County. Target users of 100,000, target revenue of 500,000. Here we release the parking feature. Like I showed you earlier, there will be garages that are applicable for parking. So if you need a monthly parking, or if you're going to the airport, you need a better option, you can park with Trustore at a much lower price. Next, phase 3, 2020, we will expand to New York City, San Francisco, Boston, and Chicago. Here we target 200,000 users with $1 million revenue. We will release a partnership with a moving and shipping company such as UPS to make Trustore transactions much easier. Also, we will release Trustore Vault. This is like the Uber Black of storage, very high-end storage. Say you have a Rolex watch, say you have a gold antique, and you need to be in the safest place, safer than any other vault in the world, go with Trustore Vault. They'll be all over the city. Phase 4, we're gonna expand to the whole United States. And like I showed you earlier, $10 million is nothing. We have the sky's the limit. I showed you $280 million. We can expand greatly during this. And we're gonna release Trustore Commercial. If you are an owner of a small business and you're running out of warehouse space, Trustore Commercial is the marketplace for owners of business to share warehouse space. Storage doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be scary. So let's make it easy. Let's bring storage to the 21st century. Trustore is the only storage marketplace that allows renters to rent space by the square foot from crowd-rated, trustworthy hosts at the best price. Hosts will get recurring cash flow with less hassle than a tenant, and renters will have more variety of options and more trust than your regular self-storage facility. Trust, share, save. Trustore. Thank you.